You don't need to scale and grow your course slowly at a snail's pace. In fact, I don't even want to look at that snail. Let's get rid of them. Here's exactly how you scale really super quickly. Just make sure you give your accountant a bit of a heads up so they don't freak out.
The Email Marketing Show.
Hey, welcome to the show. Can't wait to get into this. Actually, scale your course really, really quickly. Before I do that, what's amazing to me is that 25 to 30% of you are subscribed to this channel. But of everybody else, most people are basically watching these videos without subscribing to the channel, which I think is crazy. So if you're one of those people who's not already hit the subscribe button, make sure you hit it right now. Even hit the little bell thing, the little bell icon, so that you get a notification when I release a brand new video, which I do multiple times a week. When you hit subscribe, first of all, it means you're going to see more of my videos and more of this amazing content showing up in your feed. That will really help you to grow your courses, your coaching business, and your membership. It also lets me know that you are enjoying this content, and I'm going to keep creating more of it. So hit subscribe if you haven't already. Speaking of cool stuff that you can go and do, by the way, I just got done making a brand new course, which is all about the 3 different psychological principles that I've used to take one of my offers from $27,000 to over $500,000. The same program, right? The same thing, just loads more sales, like 18 times more sales. If you'd like that as well, the course is called Email Marketing Sorted, and you can go grab it for free just for tuning in by going to emailmarketingsorted.com. So let's get into how do you actually scale these things, because I don't know about you, but I identify as what I call an impatient entrepreneur. A lot of people are showing you, you've got to just earn your stripes, you've got to just go slowly. Screw that. I haven't got time for doing that. So the big thing that we have to realize, first of all, is that the big restraint that we all have is conversion speed. The time it takes to go from brand new person in your world, on your list, to actually buying. So the very first thing you're going to want to do is put a really good high trust welcome sequence in place so that people feel like they can buy from you. They understand you. They trust you. I've actually already made a really cool video about how to create a really good high trust welcome sequence. Rather than going into here, I'll put the link up right above my head somewhere so you can go and check that one out. The next thing we really need to do is make sure once someone's gone through our welcome sequence that we actually make an offer early, right? We want to make it really, really quickly. Otherwise, again, we're making it so that people can't really buy from us, which means we can't scale our business. Because it basically comes down to some really simple maths. Oh, I'm going to juggle my pen here. It comes down to some simple, I'm not even going to put numbers on this particularly, but imagine you're going to run some ads, right? And when you run an ad, you spend money. You're out of pocket. Then the longer it takes you to make the sale, the longer you are still in negative dollars over and over again, right? Whereas as soon as you make the sale, you are in positive dollars. So the whole aim of the game is to get into positive dollars faster. And that means you are able to scale your business. Because if you can basically, the whole game that I try and play and that we install for our clients is one where we try and get people to go from joining your list where you've spent money or you've spent time on getting them on your email list. You go from spending money to earning money from those leads within 30 days. We want to do that within 30 days. The reason we want to do it within 30 days is because that's how long I can put my ad spend on a credit card interest-free. Now, this is not financial advice. Don't get yourself in any trouble. Definitely don't want to be paying interest to these credit card companies. But rather than dipping into my pocket and taking 10 grand out of my bank account, I'll take it out of American Express's account. I'll take it out of Visa's or MasterCard's account, okay? And as long as I can pay that back within 30 days, on most credit cards, you don't pay any interest, which is why my massive focus for every business I get involved in and for my own business is always to turn that lead into a sale within 30 days, because that means I am always positively cash flowing. I spend the money here, I earn the money here, do it within 30 days, pay off the ads bill, and do this on a loop, and that means I've got infinite leads that I can do forever. But how do we actually do that in practical sense? Well, what we've got to do is we've got to show our audience that we understand their problem. That's the first thing, so write that down. Understand their problem, and more importantly, in some ways, that we understand very clearly why they haven't been able to solve the problem or overcome the challenge yet. Even though they've tried lots of different things, you've got to say, I know you've probably tried lots of different things, and these are the reasons those things haven't worked so far. When they hear that, and I'm obsessed with this, when they hear that, they realize you understand them at a much deeper level, and you also must surely have a different solution. So psychologically, they actually lean in to find out what your unique solution is, because you've obviously identified why everything else is not working. The next principle, and this is the big, huge shift that we have when we work with clients, is that we've got to identify we need to have one offer. I call it the Rome offer. It's the all roads lead to Rome offer. It's your flagship offer. If you have one offer, it is so much easier to scale really quickly. Let me explain why. Every time you launch a new offer, you know it's a ton of work. Think about it. How many times have you been in the middle of the night going, oh my God, I've still got another sales page to do, right? It's like horrendous. So every time you put a new offer together, you've got to design the offer, name the offer, write the headline, write the sales page, lay out the sales page, do all the graphics, do all the follow-up, do all the fulfillment stuff. I think I listed out 24 or 27 different things you have to do every time you launch a new offer. That's time consuming, and that is time when you're building an offer. That is time that you are not selling an offer. Think about it. You can't be doing two things at once. If you are, every minute you spend, I want this to be a big mindset shift for you, every moment that you spend building a new offer, designing slides, putting templates together, making spreadsheets, recording videos, every moment you are spending doing all of those things to build a new offer, those are minutes, those are hours and days that you are not working on selling and making sales. You can't be selling and building at the same time. And the only way to scale a course business or any business is to spend the time selling. So when you only have one offer, and I'm going to show you how we really scale that one offer, that means you now have more time, instead of making more stuff, to actually be selling. So how do we do that? Well, first of all, we're going to say, let's not build any more offers. That's the first thing we're going to do. We're going to build no more offers. And instead, we're going to use all of that time to figure out how to sell that offer. So what most people do is they have an offer. Let's imagine the offer is, I want you to imagine it's like a museum. And in the middle of the museum is a lovely statue of the person who has got the outcome they want. They've got the body they want. They've got the relationship they want. They've got the career they want. Whatever it is that you help people to get, that is what the statue in the middle of the museum is, right? And what most people do is they put a door to the museum and let people walk in through the door. And they let some people walk in through the door. But then what they do is they then go and build a whole new museum, which involves all the bricks, all the roof, all of the flooring, all of the air conditioning, all of the stuff that's inside a museum, and then they put a door on the side and they let people come through. No wonder they haven't got time and they haven't got any money. We want to not do that. That's a terrible idea, right? What we're going to do instead is we're going to go to our museum, which has the person in the middle, the statue in the middle of the perfect outcome that your person so desperately wants. And instead of building a new museum, we're going to build just another door. How much more time does it take just to basically carve a new door in the side of the museum? And that other door is another traffic method, another way, another conversion mechanism to get people in that door. And then once we've done that and we've maxed that out, we're going to build another door. And then after we've maxed that one out and people are coming through that and it's working well, we're going to build another door. And we're going to keep doing that until we have a multi-sided way into our museum with a door on every single side of it. And it's working. So what that means is you end up with more people who get the result you want to get them. It also means you don't keep building more museums, you just keep building more doors. So what the hell are these doors? These are just more routes into your offer. One type of door, there's basically two types of door, right? Type number one is traffic methods, right? So through one door, you might have Facebook ads. Through another one, you might then launch them on Instagram ads. Then another one might be you might start a YouTube channel. Then you might do some speaking on live events, online, in person, doesn't matter. That's traffic. The second type of door is what I call a conversion mechanism, right? Mechanism. Maybe spelt wrong, dyslexic, haven't got a clue. What do I mean by that? So rather than just adding more traffic methods, I think I need to be spending all this money, all this time, and doing all this stuff. No. What you can do is say, do you know what? The way we've been selling this so far has been through doing a launch. And it's been like a 3-part, 3-week video launch. Great. But what we're also going to do is we're going to do another door, which is going to be a challenge. And we're going to do like a 4-day challenge. That's another door into the same offer, into the same museum. Then we're going to have another door, which might be, it might be a webinar. Each of these things is a new way into the museum, a new doorway into the museum. So this is a different way of making the offer. Hey, join the webinar. Hey, it's launch time. Hey, we're doing a challenge. Each of these is a different traffic source. And these are the different doors into your same offer. And of course, to now scale that offer, what we're going to do is we're going to start making the offer itself have particular things in it which help us to make these things easier. One of the best things to do is to have within your program, within your course, lots of surveys and quizzes throughout the course itself that get people to really show they've consumed and understood what you're teaching them, and that allows them to realize just how much they're progressing, just how much they're learning, and how much they're uncovering about themselves. And then, of course, you can ask them for testimonials. I've got a whole video about my specific process about testimonials, what to ask in those testimonials, how to get great testimonials. Again, I'll link to that just here if you want to go and check that out. And then the final piece of this, back to the iPad here, the final piece is, once they're in the museum, once they're in your One Rome offer, and they've joined the Rome offer, here it is, the final ninja stage is to then ascend people. And what do you ascend them into? Well, here's the really easiest part. The highest converting things you can help people with is actually not to give them something totally different. So one of the things I don't want you to do is say you are teaching people how to grow on YouTube, right? That's your Rome offer. Great. You're going to teach them your YouTube course. You don't want to then offer another program, which is here is how to do email marketing. You might go, that's related because they're going to get leads from YouTube, going to get into email marketing. No, don't do that, because that's not what they came to you for. They came to you for YouTube training. So the easiest and the best and the highest converting and the most helpful, so much better in every single way, type of offer to ascend people into are to move them into different levels of impact to the same problem. Because we know that people who buy a self-study course, we know that only a certain percentage of people complete them and implement them well. So what we're going to do is we're going to move them from maybe your Rome offer is a self-study course. We're then going to ascend them to the next level, and we're going to offer them maybe some kind of group coaching to help them implement and get better results, have more contact, get some advice on the very thing that your self-study program does. Because people want their personal situation being addressed, right? And then we can ascend them into something bigger, something higher priced, higher ticket, higher proximity to you, and that might be a small group program. That might be something like, so this is usually called a group coaching program. This is often called a mastermind. And then the final thing you can ascend people into is one-to-one implementation and help. Do you have to do all of these things? No. For example, I don't really offer a one-to-one solution. People can hire me for like one-off little projects, which is one-to-one, but I don't offer a one-to-one thing because that's not how I like to manage my calendar, right? So this is how you ascend people, but it all comes down to making sure you have this one roam offer that we just talked about. Now, of course, the question is, how do we get all these people in? How do we get them all in? Because if you haven't got an email list, if you're not building that email list, then you're basically on your way to a drought of leads, and no leads means nobody you can sell to. So I made another video which is all about how you actually build your email list from scratch. Go check that one out next. It's really gonna help you. See you there.